Hit record. All righty. Well, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's doing amazing out there. I'm super excited today because I have the extraordinary Lily Moore here with us that was just named top 250 in the United States for NAREP, number 17 to be exact, in the top teams. And did over 195 transactions. And she's an amazing gal out of Westlake, Texas. And I'm very excited to have you here with me today. Thank you so much for your time. I truly, truly appreciate it. How's your day going so far today?
Thank you so much, Leo. It's amazing. And thank you so much for having me here and have the time to do the interview. The day is going great. And I'm excited to be here and share some of the things we're doing currently.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know that it's not a small feat, to do what you've been able to do, in a year. So congratulations again. And just my intention of doing this is just to celebrate your accomplishment, because it is, I think that's one of the things that we miss sometimes. We don't celebrate enough, the things those small things in life. And I think that's the kind of the key element to everything. We got to celebrate those wins.
I agree. And at any step in your career, real estate or anything else, you should take that time, like you say, to celebrate your first closing, your 10 closing, your 100 closing. There is always time to celebrate and then keep moving forward so you don't forget what you're doing, the things you're doing.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure, everybody's kind of wondering, I'm like, man, how is this awesome gal doing 195 transactions in a year, right? And I know that you're going to get into the details of it, but first and foremost, what I would like and I'd love for you to share is just your story. How long you've been in the business, what inspired you to get into the business, and then how have you gotten here, right? Like to this level.
Absolutely. To give you a little bit of my background, I moved from El Salvador when I was 20 years old. I moved to Texas, didn't speak any English. I was pregnant, didn't have papers. So it took a while to get, from many years ago to where I am today. I decided to get into real estate. It was a conversation with a friend. They telling me, hey, you're great with people. You're very outgoing. Why you don't try to go into the car sales? I was like, cars? I was like, right, well, maybe, right? Maybe I can do car sales. Sounds fun. And talking to my husband, I told him that night, I said, hey, I may be, doing car sales on the side. I'm the type of person who's always busy. I like to be busy. So I had an 8 to 5 job with corporate America. And when I told him that I was going to be selling cars on the weekends, he's like, yeah, no, if you're going to sell something, why you don't try to do real estate? Right. I said, houses? I say, well, I don't know nothing about houses. What are you talking about? Well, go to school for that, right? So I went and got my real estate license. That was back in 2011. Well, I still was working 8 to 5 corporate America. I was there for many years. So I didn't really want to leave that security blanket to go into the unknown of the real estate. Since it's commission based, you don't get insurance. That's the thing many people don't know. You get into real estate and you don't start making money right away. Right. So I was just afraid to do it. Yes. So from 2011 till 2016, I did it part-time. I was, a realtor doing it on the side with friends and family, asking for referrals. I was working a lot though. I was working like 80 hours a week, working 8 to 5 my job and then going every evening to the showings, working every weekend. And I was closing about, I would say 15 to 22 deals a year as a part-time agent. So I didn't know at that time that was actually pretty good for a part-time agent, which I don't recommend to go part-time because it's really hard. And then 2016 came. So I decided to finally leave my corporate job after 16 years. It was an amazing job, but it was time for me to go because I was growing. 2016, I went full-time in July and I ended that year with about 45 transactions.
Wow. So immediately doubled.
It did double. Yeah. It doubled the production because then I could focus into, being in real estate as a solo agent. Every year, my goal is just to be better than the last year. And it's scary to think, oh, can I do what I did last year? Can I do more transactions? Can I help more people? 2017, I was the number 1 agent for Keller Williams as a solo agent. I closed 77 deals that year.
Wow.
So that was really hard. I didn't have an assistant. It was just me going.
You didn't have an assistant at that time?
I
So
didn't
it's
have
just
an
all
assistant.
you 77 transactions. So yeah, I know what that's like.
77, but yeah. And it was crazy at the time. And, because I'm a personality. So like to do things my way. I like to think nobody else can do it as good as I do. So I really
Right.
didn't trust anybody to help me.
Mhm.
Now I understand, and I wish, somebody should show me the way many years ago and say, no, you need an assistant so you can double that production quicker. And to find the right person, of course.
Right.
2018, I finally got an assistant and also started a team. I left Keller Williams and I started my own company, Lily Moore Realty, small brokerage in the Texas area, North Texas.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So Lily Moore Realty. So you went from 45 to 77, now became your own independent. And also obviously sounds like you now hired an assistant. So what does that look like for you now? Like your team, right?
It's amazing. So we started the brokerage 2018. My husband left his corporate job as well because
Wow.
there was a potential to do way bigger things, right? So 2018, we started the brokerage. As an independent brokerage, you start getting agents. Very quickly, we realized within 6 months or so, we didn't necessarily want to have independent agents. We still have, but it's a team.
Right.
So we do have a small team, 10 buyers agent, people who actually awesome, people who's been with us since 2018. My husband, he's the president of the company. So he run everything on the back end, paperwork, hiring people. He helped me to get my assistant, which is very important, the people you hire, because it's really easy to hire anybody. It's hard sometimes to fire that person. If it's a family member, if it's a friend, you have to make sure that that's the right person for the position. You don't hire a person just because you like them. You hire them because they are capable to do the job you need them to do. So we posted the position for the assistant. And at the time, I told my husband, I said, wow, the way you put in this is a part-time assistant and you're making it seem like they're going to be working with a CEO. Like they have to follow these steps and leave a message and da da da. And he said, well, if they don't do the steps, they don't follow, instruction, you have to pay attention to detail. Out of, I don't know, we had like 100 people who applied for the job at the time. It got down to 5 people who actually follow every step and 2 people who actually made it to the interview. And that was back in January 2018. Until today, my assistant is still with me and she's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So be quick to fire, but take your time hiring people. So
Yeah.
if you're going to get an assistant, which I think any agent making probably, over 20 transactions a year, should have an assistant to help with the paperwork. So you can concentrate on what you do best, which is closing deals.
Absolutely.
But it was an experience. So now we do have 3 admins helping us with social media, with closings for the team, and it's still my assistant. She went from part-time to full-time.
Nice, very nice. I mean, I love the fact that you shared kind of like that process to get to, having your admin, because I think that that's something that a lot of people take really lightly. I mean, I didn't do that early on in the beginning, and I learned my lesson right away. Right.
You did.
So, the fact that and I think this is a big key for everybody listening to this, out of 100 people, you narrowed it down to.
It was 5 people who actually follow. Yeah. And I'd be happy to share if you reach out what was, what the post say. And we posted on Indeed, I think it's the place where you post like openings for jobs. But it was specifically send an email, leave a 30 seconds or 2-minute voicemail. It was the steps. So if you skip the steps or you didn't follow the steps, that's immediately tell us, okay, you're not going to listen, you're not going to follow instructions.
Exactly. And that's a big key, because the person that you are going to entrust with your business, you're basically confident that, hey,
absolutely,
this person is going to take over this position. And like one little step, obviously on an application, is not a significant deal, but that, like, obviously in our transactions, somebody else's home and everything else is on the line. That's a big deal. Yeah.
That's a big deal. You're absolutely right. If anybody and that I was afraid of not having the right person who cares as much as I do about having everything right, doing the right things, making sure everything went smooth for my clients. She came aboard and she didn't have any experience with real estate. She had experience with corporate America, but nothing to do with real estate. So at the beginning, it was a learning process for her, but she was a quick learning. So yeah, if you're gonna hire somebody, my idea of hiring somebody was just post it on Facebook or, and say, hey, we're hiring guys, and so everybody raise their hands and say, me, I want to
Of
work with you,
course.
right?
Of
But that
course.
doesn't mean they qualify to do the job.
100%.
And it's a very important, it's a vital position to have an assistant, especially for a top producer who can be on top of the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And anything else? I mean, it sounds like you had a pretty like specific process on hiring. Was there anything else that stands out? And I know that you're going to share it with us, which I definitely want to take a look at it. So anything else that was it maybe a little bit different?
No, it's just having a process and know what are you looking for. And again, the specifications of what's the need for your own business. So it's just, again, I'm going to put my information or you're going to give them my information at the end.
Yes.
Be happy to share, whatever we use and utilize for that process at the time.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, perfect. So you're now 3 admins and you said you had 10 buyers agents, right?
Yes.
So kind of give me the dynamics of like the team, how it operates, right? I know your husband is the president. So what's your position? What are your, like, how do you guys delegate, share with us that, please.
So he's the president. He oversees the admins, the marketing and everything else that comes along with having a business. As realtors, we forget sometimes we are independent contractors. We are our own business. So just always see yourself as an entrepreneur, somebody who's doing things for the business and not just running around without knowing where you're going. So when it comes to the vision and the expansion and everything else, he's in charge. I'm the broker and I'm the team leader. I'm still in production, so I'm still selling real estate daily. I'm still talking to people every day, going to listing appointments, seeing some buyers with the team. And I did refer to them as buyers agents. They do listings and buyers.
Perfect.
But we get a lot of leads daily from different sources. We have referrals from past clients. We have a farming area. We have a Zillow lead, realtor.com leads. We have leads calling out of our listings. So we get a lot of different sources and we distribute that to the team to make sure everybody got enough business to thrive and survive and to make sure they the best realtor they can be. So I do allow them to do listings as well because I am getting a lot of leads. And
a lot of buyers, right? A lot of buyers.
Buyers and sellers. There is so much you can do as an individual agent. And to be honest with you, we realize that the future of real estate is going to be teams. Because if you think you can do it yourself, because you want to be a solo agent and maybe have one assistant, it is going to be difficult because imagine right now I have 10 clients, right? Everybody want to go see houses or everybody wants me to be at certain time, place, meeting with them, showing their houses, list. I can't do it all myself. So that's when you start delegating and know who you can trust with your clients, past clients. I get a lot of people who refer me business out of social media alone, Facebook, Instagram, somebody who's going to be buying a house, maybe 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away. I can do it. I pass it to one of my team members because I know my time, know that it's not going to be worth it with that client, but I know the value of me, it's generating more sellers lead.
Right.
Because every time you get a listing, you should get at least 2 buyers.
Yes.
For your own company. So it is a very nice dynamic. The people we have on the team, it's incredible people who value what we do, which is basically having a servant heart, being willing and able to help people. And yes, the money is important. And I tell that to any agent, it is great. But at the end of the day, if you do truly help and serve people, the money is going to come. At the end of the day, you want to go to sleep happy knowing that you're helping somebody versus thinking, oh my God, I did say something that, it wasn't what you people expect for you to do, or you just want to go sleep with that clean conscious.
Clean consciousness. Yeah, exactly. And then I think that, obviously for longevity in the business, that's a huge key. I think that you have to have that kind of mindset and also heart, like you want to give, because if you're doing it for the money, then that means that you're going to be very inconsistent because you're going to run out of gas, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to absolutely run out of gas.
That's absolutely right. You always have to remember why you're doing the things you do. And if you really, truly do it from a place of helping people, it's gonna come to you, and you're gonna get up every morning and you're gonna do the things you need to do. But if you're thinking about the money in real estate doesn't come as soon as you wish. And I
Right.
tell that to new, agents. It's like, oh, everybody think I'm gonna get my real estate license, I'm gonna go make a killing, and I'm gonna go close all these deals. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes consistency. It takes a long time. It takes years to start seeing that to friction. And most people, if you're thinking about just the money, you're not gonna make any money. You're probably gonna make 20,000, 30,000 the first year, maybe.
Right.
If you're lucky, you can make more. But what's gonna happen if you're thinking just about the money? You're gonna quit. You're gonna
Exactly.
leave and you're gonna go do something else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's super, super important. And thank you so much for sharing that. And one of the things that I'm noticing based on our interview is the fact that, you've kind of done things as like you kind of like it's a necessity, and that's why you've had to grow a team. And I think that's where a lot of people also kind of get a confusion of like, hey, should I build a team? Well, is it absolutely necessary? Right. And then for yourself, when you got to the point where you're going from 45 to 77, absolutely, hiring somebody is important.
Yes, do it.
Right, exactly. So I think that that's where your business is going to speak to you, right? And that's when right? When you have no time and you're maxed out, then it's time to leverage for sure.
That's exactly, that's a good point of view. Because I tell people, like I say, if you a solo agent and you're doing 10 deals a year, and you're already thinking about hiring your admin and hiring this marketing person and hiring a social media company and hire, agents, at the end of the day, you're gonna close 10 deals is still, and it's gonna be zero money on your bank account.
Exactly.
Try to do as much as you can at the beginning on your own. And when you're already maxed out, okay, I'm gonna bring my assistant. That's the hire number one you need to bring. Bring an assistant. And then you may get a agent to help you with buyers, because that's where you take the most time doing showings, running around, showing houses. Then you need a buyer's agent. But I do see a lot of agents who's like ready to go, I want to get my team. How many deals are you closing? 5. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
Because I don't want to be driving around. Then what are you in real estate?
Right. Exactly.
You have to do it based on the need of your business, and not just do it to do it. And it's going to get the moment when you're going to start expanding, but don't start spending the money if you don't have it.
Right. Exactly. I love that you're touching on those points, because I think that's super essential for somebody to think about those things, because I get those questions all the time. Like, when is it to build a team? I think your business, gives you the cues, right? You're maxed out. You have no more time.
Yep.
So I absolutely love everything you're talking about. And so when you started to basically hire your agent, I'm assuming you kind of followed that same process, right? You got maxed out, you had somebody that was on fire. How did you grow your team? How did that happen? Was that organic? Did somebody refer the agents?
It was pretty organic. It was pretty organic. I was, like I say, with Keller Williams. It's a big company here in Texas. So I was with them. I was the number one agent. So agents were kind of like following what I was doing anyway. And when I left, I got one agent. He was actually my boss when I used to work at corporate America. So he joined real estate because I was there.
Wow.
He was the first one to come with our company. So he already knew what I was planning to do, and he already knew he was coming with me. So
Nice.
that was a blessing. He's a great guy. I love him. And then I have another 2 agents from the same company, kind of like reaching out. Hey, are you hiring? Do you need more people? And absolutely, I got to talk to them, love it. They were newish agents at the time. I remember one of my hires, Cherry, I love her too. I think she just had 1 deal closed, she's saying, like, in a long time. And then we sat down, she learned a lot. She's killing it right now. I have another agent, she came from the company too. I needed a bilingual agent at the time. So I did post it on Facebook. Hey guys, we're growing, I need a bilingual agent. She reached out and she's like, hey, I don't know, she was very timid. She was super shy. She was about to quit real estate after 1.5 years because she wasn't really closing deals.
Right.
She closed 35 deals last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
she's from Colombia. She's
Love
awesome.
that. That's amazing.
So that's the type of power you have behind a team. But because you get in the lead, you just have to work. And she works really hard. So it was organically. And there is some instances where agents reach out, and I don't care if you have 1,000 deals done, but if I just I can't teach you to be a good
Yeah,
person.
there's has to be a culture fit, right? It has to
It
be a
is,
culture
it
fit.
is, has
Yeah.
to be a culture, because if you get a bad apple, it's starting spreading. So it has to be somebody who's willing, he's good, first and foremost, to be a good person, to have a good
Mhm.
attitude, good personality. If you don't know how to sell real estate, I can teach you how to sell real estate. I
Mhm.
can't teach you how to be a good human being. So I
Right,
always say
exactly.
that that's number one rule: be a good person. I'm happy to open the job for you to come and work. But again, you have to talk to people. And I know some people, and I should implement this, they do have personality tests. That's a great thing to have. I choose agreeing with talking to people, and you can tell a lot about people by talking to them just a few minutes.
Oh, 100%, 100%. They will tell you everything you need to know right away. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And what would you say? I mean, I know you give us some insights on the hiring part. What would you say? I know you said Zillow and a couple of different lead sites. What would you say to somebody out there that is thinking of, kind of going on the path of going to 45 to 77 plus, and then kind of getting there? What would you say are like the main pillars of getting somebody to be successful like yourself, like building up that pipeline?
You know what? It did help a lot for me was social media. I wasn't, I'm still not on Twitter, to be honest with you, but I do a lot of my deals through Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook, and now on Instagram, I'm doing a little bit of it. Instagram, I do a little bit of LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Do get your presence online. If
Perfect.
you thinking and want to be successful, you have to project up, you have to be out there. live
Yes.
videos, live
Mhm.
videos, recording videos, do short videos telling people what you're doing showings, doing open houses. At the time when I started doing videos back in 2013, 2014, nobody was doing videos. So I was the only person. I remember my first live video, I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, and I went live, and I kind of like doing Spanglish. It was because
Yeah.
I was afraid to talk on the camera in English. I was
Got
like, I'm not even gonna know what I'm gonna
right.
say.
Yeah. All the
You
stuff that goes
remember?
in the mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you remember my first language is Spanish. So
Yeah.
I can go in Spanish and just be like, talk
Yeah.
to you. But in English, I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. So I just, I still now, if I do a live video, you still get nervous. I
Yeah.
do,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm
You
like,
will. No matter
well,
what.
if I messed up, I messed up. But do the videos, get yourself out there, know your audience, who you are directing to. If you do on Facebook, who are the people on Facebook? Is it your friends, family? Ask for business. Show them your proof of success. Show them what you're doing. Ask them for business. Hey guys, I'm here to help you. If you have any questions, be of service. It's
Yes.
not just like give me. Engage with people on social media. Same with Instagram. LinkedIn is a platform which is more professional uses. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of my clients are on LinkedIn. So I make sure I do post. Every
Yes.
platform is different. So you have to learn a little bit of social media. That's number one. Number two, get super local in your area where you're at. If you're in a community, in a city, in a town, you need to be known by the people in your town, by the people in your city. Get engaged with the different community. What are they doing? Are they doing, back to school, help, giving stuff away? You don't have money right now because you're a new agent. You can't give anything away yet. Well, give your time. What are the needs? What are the PTA needing for the teachers?
Mhm.
Do they need somebody who go volunteer for something like the animal shelter, something that it's excited to you as well as a person?
Mhm.
Somebody is gonna not necessarily, be involved in something if they don't like it.
Right.
If you
Exactly.
do fake something, like let's say you don't like animals, but
Yeah.
you're gonna go volunteer at the shelter so you can get some clients.
Yeah. It's not
People is
gonna.
gonna notice you don't like animals. You don't
Yeah.
like
They're gonna.
children. Okay, then don't volunteer for anything that has to do with children. So just make sure you do
The
volunteer for
natural fit.
something.
Yeah.
Is there an HOA, in your community? Is there is a Facebook community page for the city or the community where you live in? Be part and get involved. Just
Yes.
be part of that. I started farming an area back in 2011 without even realize what geofarming was. I was just trying to help neighbors and providing value and giving them, for example,
Yes.
comparable sales to dispute the taxes, or being present at the community pool opening and give a
Right.
little something. It wasn't a lot of money to be spent, but people start knowing.
Yes.
And now 10, 11 years later, I just get the call, listening call, because people is like, oh, wow, I see your signs everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
it took 10 to 11 years. It
Yeah.
didn't happen immediately.
You mean
Did it happen sooner?
you're not an overnight success? What happened there? I thought you were an overnight.
Right. What do you do wrong? Yeah. No, it takes time. It takes
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time.
It definitely does. No, it's super, super valuable. And thank you so much for sharing all of that and, getting your best practices. And I definitely agree with you on all of those things. It's, getting a localized area, getting people to really know you. And you keep mentioning this throughout our interview. It's just like value, value, value. And that is like key, I think, to everything. So I love that you keep emphasizing on that. And I could see why, you're doing what you're doing because, success leaves all these clues. And I hear these things all the time. So I guess what is your vision? What's Lily's vision, I guess, a year, 5 years from now? Like what do you see happening to your team and what's kind of share that?
Yeah, what I do, and to be honest with you, it's my husband who always have the vision and the goals and everything else. To me, it's enjoying the journey.
Love it.
And like I said before to you, just try to be better every day, every year to surpass what I did last year. And now as a team, I have to make sure, like you mentioned last year, we did 195 transactions. This year, the goal is 250 transactions.
Love it.
In 5 years, we want to get to 500, 600 transactions a year.
Right.
And I want the people in my team to be able to be closing 75 to 100 deals like I did. And I know they can because we have the support. If you have a closing coordinator, a listing coordinator, a marketing person, your job is going to just go and close the deal, show the houses, be nice to people. And so the 5-year vision plan, I would say to be one of those teams who's closing at least 500 deals a year.
Love that. Love that. I love that vision. And I definitely think you're going to get there 100% just because you're following the process. You're following your process. You're doing the right things. You are attracting the right people and you're coming from a place of contribution and value, which I think is a magical ingredient to everything. So definitely. I guess one last question that I'll ask you is kind of like, what's some advice that you would give to yourself? Like, and by the way, what you've been able to do like full time from 2016, like in 5 years to get from where you started to where you're at now, it's an extraordinary accomplishment. So, congratulations on that. But what would you say are maybe some things that are like, hey, you know what, based now looking backwards, kind of like Steve Jobs says, right? You can't connect the dots looking forward, but looking backwards. What would be some things that you would say as advice to yourself during that
Number
journey?
one, establish and use a CRM. Or I don't care what it is. If it's a Google sheet, if it's a piece of paper with your context information, past client, potential client leads. Right now, we currently using Chime. It is important. The money's in the follow up.
Yes.
I mean, it hurt my stomach now when I know I haven't followed up with people from 10 years ago and they selling their houses and they didn't call me. Well, guess what? There is 10 realtors reaching out to them at least every day, trying to get them to sell or buy. So use your CRM. If that was the advice to any realtor starting in the business, or to myself many years ago, is to have a CRM and stick with it. If you are with a big company, get your own CRM. Because once you leave, you're probably going to lose all of your information. Just an advice, because I did have one previously and I don't even know what it is. I couldn't log in after I left the company. So just have a track of your leads and past clients and people you need to be following up with. That will be number one. And number two, just enjoy the ride. The goals are great to have goals every year. Just try to be yourself and try to be your best self every year. Stop comparing yourself with other people because you don't know their journey. They may be closing 1,000 deals. They may be closing 100 deals. What you see on social media is not necessarily true. Don't compare yourself to them because there is always going to be somebody who's going to be better, who's going to have more deals, who's going to have more money. Just be yourself and live your best life.
Love that. And I know you said enjoy the ride a couple of times. What would you say? And I know that was going to be the last question, but I love what you keep saying about that. What led you to have this sort of mindset? Because obviously there's things that happen in our lives that kind of lead us a certain down path. So were there some courses, some books that you read, Was it maybe people? What was it for you that really like shifted your mindset to enjoy the ride? What was it?
And when I say enjoy the ride, enjoy every day, enjoy
The moment,
yourself,
right? Exactly.
have that mindset. It's not about, oh, I'm waiting till the end of the year to reach my goal. I'm going to,
To
5
be
years from
happy.
now to close 500. You
Yeah.
don't know if it's going to happen or not. So just enjoy what you're doing now, because everything that you're doing now, you just put in seeds. So everything is going to happen when you look back a few years. And I did learn that, because for the first 5, 6 years, I was just trying to be somebody. I was just trying
Yes.
to work,
Yes.
work, work. So I didn't really enjoy the process. It was more
Yes.
like feeling exhausted, feeling desperate. And I went to the emergency room like twice in that period, because
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was so crazy busy. I wouldn't drink water. I didn't take care of myself. So now it's like, you know what? Let me put my family first, myself. I love business, that I'm going to enjoy life, because
That's
we're not getting any younger. So when you look back, you want to be able to say, I did that. I did it with love. And now this is what brought me here. So stop just thinking about the vision and the long goal and the long term. Just worry about today.
yeah.
What are you going to accomplish today?
I love that. I love that. That's a huge key, huge, huge key. I thought it was really important. I'm like, you got to share that, because I think that, I was kind of the same way. 5 years into it, I kind of skipped over so many different things. I wasn't taking care of my body. I
Yes.
was not happy making all this money, but I'm like, and I got to that point. It was a kind of like a breaking point for me. You said you ended up in the emergency room twice. For me, it was, is this like, I was sitting in my car. I'm like, is this it? Like, is this what life's all about? Like, really?
Right.
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 And I had noticed that I had detached myself from my purpose, and I was just kind of just being super activity oriented and not being connected to anything or
Yeah.
anyone. And yeah, it could get really draining. So I think
Yeah.
that's what I wanted you to share, because I think that's a huge, huge
I
key.
think the same happened to you. So it's,
Yeah.
enjoy it today.
Yes. Enjoy the day. Well, it's been a pleasure
Thank you.
connecting with you. Thank you so much for making the time. And I wish you nothing but success on
Likewise.
accomplishing your 500-600 plus transactions. And I love the fact that you're coming from a place of value and contribution, and looking forward to connecting with a higher level, and have an amazing day.
Absolutely. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Leo. I appreciate you, and have a blessed day. Success to you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome.